This is Jamal69 Jackson making a video that I don't think anybody's ever made so far on YouTube or about this topic. I'm not 100% for sure if anybody else has, but I'm gonna take a gander that I might be the first one. I'm not sure, but it's in reference to sneaky ways in which GTA or RockStar will try to take your money, your hard-earned money from the game. And I'm gonna mention these ways, and I'm also gonna give you some hints on what you might be able to do about it. So that you either don't lose this money or kind of minimize your loss. So let's get started. One of the first ways that they will use to take your money from you is by certain fees, which are kind of administrative fees. These fees include like your property maintenance. They will include the salaries also that you pay for your secretary and your mechanic. And there's if you own a CEO office and you have a secretary, or if you have properties, or if you have a car with garage and you have that mechanic, option to call them and deliver your car, there's nothing you can do about it. Those fees are just going to be constant. They're going to be existing every single day that you play the game. And honestly, I'll tell you, it's not a lot of money, but it's taken from you every GTA day, which is every 24 hours in GTA. So it's not a real life 24 hours in the real world. And it's not a lot of money, but of course after some time it does add up. But however, I'll have to say that those fees, they really aren't that much, and they are worth it because some of these services provide some very cool conveniences. Again, the mechanic one, for example, I think it's really great that you can call up a car and have it spawn somewhere next to you instead of having to drive to a garage every time to go pick it up. And the secretary one, well, she doesn't do a hell of a lot. As well as your property maintenance as well. You own properties and they're making you pay for maintenance. It's not the fee's not so bad, so I can kind of live with that. But still, it's kind of a sneaky way that they'll take some of that money that you're making, or earning when you're doing things on GTA. Then the second one are the business fees. If you have a warehouse, a CEO office, a motorcycle club, if you have a bunker, a hangar, all those things will take money from you. Well, not all of them. Let me explain them. Explain how they kind of work. Of course, if you have a CEO office and you've done this kind of work, you know that you get charged an upfront fee for crates. If you want to pick up 1, 2, or 3 crates, and if you hear anything in the background, that's my daughter playing Roblox. And so anyhow, you can go ahead and play it, baby. And so anyway, for example, again, your CEO office will charge you a fee up front. And if you end up making $100,000 when you do a sale of something, you kind of don't, because you actually make $82,000 if you have to pay an upfront fee of $18,000, correct? So you're really not making as much money as you really think you are in the end, if you paid some money to do so. The other one again is the vehicle shop. That's another one where you will get a car. It won't cost you anything. And then, of course, once you get up to the sale point, if you want to get the better price for it, you'll have to do some upgrades, which can cost you upwards to $20,000. So if you're doing a sale of a car again at the end for $100,000, you really actually made $80,000. The motorcycle one, I don't remember what the deal was with the motorcycle club and the sales of things, of merchandise. The cocaine lab and all that stuff. All I know is that I didn't like it as a business, so I utilized it for about 2 weeks. I just did not like it, and I closed the business down. The bunker, that one also has really not a hell of a lot as far as fees when you go do missions and sales, but it does have the fee that you're paying your workers, and that's to me it comes out to $9,400 every GTA day, and it's for somebody, if I have a bit of money, I don't feel it that bad, and I'm always working, making money, but it's a lot of money. That's about $10,000 every GTA day. After 10 GTA days, you lost $100,000 basically. So, that's a lot of money. And so, again, I'm gonna give you some hints to kind of, help alleviate some of that. And then again, the last one is the hangar. The hangar is kind of cool because there are no upfront fees or any back-end fees. You just straight up steal what you gotta steal, and then you sell what you gotta sell, and nothing gets taken from you. It's pretty neat, right? But I'm gonna get into more detail about what they do, so you don't make that money in that and other sell missions. And so let's I guess go with this business fee remedy, I guess, or a hint on how you can sort of alleviate that. And I'll get to the next point. I guess if if you're using a business and you have it open and you're not really using it and you're not going out making missions and making money to cover those fees that they're giving or that they're making for you, especially like bunker, where if you own a bunker and you're doing anything there, whether it's research or you're trying to make merchandise so you can sell it, you're gonna get charged for those employees. And if you're not going out there making money, you're just getting charged and you're not using it. You're kind of just getting money taken for nothing, and you're gonna keep losing, and it's gonna be bleeding out money all the time. So my hint to you is keep the business profitable, keep using it, and then go out and do some other missions that make you some money. So you don't just continue to lose money all the time, but you're also making money to cover those things, and you become profitable. Which I am very profitable, I have to say. And the businesses that I don't use or don't like, again, like that motorcycle one, I just closed it down. And I stay, quite profitable that way. Right now, I'm, working on 26 million, and that's, actually quite easy for me to do frequently. And that's just by utilizing my businesses wisely and staying busy. And now let's get on to the next thing. As far as, like I was saying, missions. Some missions, again, or some businesses don't have a fee. As I was saying, one of those businesses is the hangar, so it's kind of neat, right? But at the same time, they do something still to try to make you lose that money when you try to sell it, by making that sale difficult. Some of these sell missions you can go do all by yourself when you got to sell the merchandise, and some of them it's impossible for you to do it by yourself. Some of those sell missions, it's impossible for you to do it with 2 people in some cases. It's impossible for you to do it with 3 people in some cases, like some of those bunker missions. You can't even do it with 3 people. You won't be able to complete the mission if you have 3 people helping, or well, 2 people helping you. So a total of 3 people, you still won't be able to finish. You will actually need a full VIP or CEO crew of 4 people for you to, be able to complete the mission. And so what happens then is either through that, through not being able to do it because you don't have sufficient help, or through several other things, you will end up either losing part of that sale, merchandise value, or you'll end up losing everything, right? It's happened to me before, and if you're one of the people that does these missions, it's probably happened to you. So what I'm going to tell you right now is actually a really good way to keep that from happening. There's several ways you can lose your sale mission. You can lose your merchandise. You can lose everything you work so hard for. Either the time running out on you, because something happened, delays, you get stuck on a ledge or whatever. Whatever happens, your vehicle is stuck, or your friends are goofing around and they messed up the mission, or whatever goes on, your time starts to run out, right? And once that happens and you know that you're not completing your mission, you know that you're gonna lose money or you're gonna lose everything. Another one is the destruction, right, of your merchandise, either by you falling into a water water hazard, like falling into a river, the ocean, by accident, falling off the road and into the water. That's happened to me before. Or your plane hitting a tree when you're doing a delivery, and it happens to be an air mission where you're delivering things with a plane. That's happened to me before. Or the destruction by other players as well. You can have other players that will search you out and purposely go try to stop your mission. And that's another point. That's another way that GTA uses to try to take that money from you. And I'll mention that just after this. Also, another thing that can happen, you can have a game glitch, and that's happened to me before too. A game glitched, and I lost everything. Of course, when that happened, I did contact RockStar, and RockStar replaced my my money and some of my merchandise. It was kind of very nice of them, but still, it doesn't feel nice when that happens to you. You're in the middle of a mission and you're about to finish, get paid, and boom, something glitches and you lose everything. Let's see, the other one is that you will actually lose everything is the robbery of your goods. Some of these things, like some of these warehouses will have, like the bunker and the warehouses will have a thing where you can literally all of a sudden get a message. You're in the middle of your everyday spending your free mode time on GTA, and it's all of a sudden you'll get a notice that your stuff has been stolen. You gotta go try to recover it, and of course that the stakes are that if you don't recover it successfully, you lose either half of it or everything. And it's happened to me before also, where I've lost everything or half of it. But have figure out a way to keep that from happening. And so that's where I'm gonna give you a hint, and that is close out your application. If you see that your mission is about to fail, or you're pretty certain it's gonna fail, or even from the get-go, some of these missions that you know you just cannot complete by yourself or only with two people, just close out the application. Most cases, some of these sale missions will put you into a, well, you don't have to close the app. You can also just leave the session, not just close app. You can close app or leave session, but in the end, most of these things, you'll come back and you will be fine. For example, the bunker missions, when you leave, let's say you had your entire bunker value at full value, which is $1,000,000 and 50,000, $1,050,000, and you come back, you will lose like $32,000 instead of losing everything. So that's okay, you know. And then you'll sell if you manage to sell it on the second attempt, you'll get $1,018,000 for it. But it's better than having zero, right? You lost $32,000 only. I can live with that. So that's what I do. When I see that my mission is just not gonna happen, or I'm about to get destroyed by some fool, I just get into the interactive menu, or just leave the session, or do whatever I have to do. Go into the not the interactive menu. I'm sorry, into the regular menu and just leave session, or do whatever you have to do. Just close out app. Just basically don't let the destruction become finalized during the session. Otherwise, if once it registers in the game that you lost everything, and you try to leave, then it's over. You lost everything. When you come back, it'll still be gone. So and during the recovery missions, which are the ones where your stuff gets taken from your bunker, and you have to go over and try to pick it up, and you know, save it from the bad guys and take it back to your bunker or to your warehouse or whatever. It's 100% of the time so far that I've done it. If I just leave the session or close out the app, I come back and all my merchandise is there intact. I lose nothing. So that's really freaking cool. At least during those recovery missions, when your merchandise is taken by random bad guys, you can just come back and leave, come back, and you're good to go. You won't lose any of it, at least during those particular missions. But that's another way that I think GTA is very sneaky about, trying to make sure that or hoping at least, that you will lose that stuff. And that, of course, makes you lose a lot of money and doesn't help your progress in trying to buy your next car or next, business, whatever you're trying to do. And that's the next point I was getting to, is that another way that they'll use is by you starting a mission. Automatically when you start a mission and you hop into a vehicle for sale or to pick up and deliver it so you can fill out, your bunker again or your warehouse again, immediately a notice goes out, right, to everyone saying, hey, this guy's trying to do this, go try to stop him. So that's another way that they do it. They make it, they advertise it to the world so that they make sure that they know that you're doing something and, hey, please go stop this guy. Which, of course, RockStar, I think, wants to do, and ultimately so that you don't make that profit, hopefully. And, of course, again, you get frustrated and you don't have money to either buy things, and hopefully you'll buy a shark card. And so one of the hints that I will give you as far as when you're doing these missions to minimize risk is, always be safe when you're doing your mission. Always, those air missions to me are just some of the worst. I'm not bad at flying a plane, but I'm not the greatest, so sometimes things will really get jacked up for me. But again, just kind of be safe. Take your time. Don't be rushed on doing some of these things when you're delivering. And again, if you see you're gonna fail, close out your app. And if you're doing this in a full session or a session with people that you don't know or you don't trust, then always look at your map and see what's going on. Always kind of keep tab on people. If you see somebody coming at you, then at least you can kind of try to take some kind of preventative measures to not be destroyed. Or just if you see that they're gonna get you and there's nothing you can kind of do to get away because they're coming at you in a Hydra, then just leave the session and at least you won't lose that. You won't lose that mission, and you won't lose your merchandise. You won't lose at least all of your money either. Maybe just a portion of it, a very small portion of it. And so now moving on to the next way that they will try to make you lose money is, again, they will, I think, when you try to do a lot of these missions, they'll try to hope that you'll be in a full session. So again, one thing that you can do when you have something that you want to sell, like your full bunker, your full warehouse, if you're in a full session and you see that it's going to be a lot of trouble for you, or it's likely you're going to be, attacked, which most of the time, I mean, it's going to happen. This is GTA, right? So what you want to do is leave that session and just keep leaving session until you find a session that's either got a few players in it that you can kind of have more odds at succeeding, or you want to end up doing this enough times to where eventually you will end up in a session by yourself. I promise you. And if you have your friends that are trying to join you, and be part of this sale, that's okay. You go ahead and you keep bouncing session. Eventually you'll land in a session by yourself, and then just invite them or have them join you through party or whatever means. Just then they can all join you and you can all be in a session all by yourselves and do this sale successfully. And yeah, you don't get the bonus that you normally get when you're doing it in a crowded session, but I don't think that bonus sometimes is worth it because you're risking very minimal gain for an absolute loss of everything. So it's really up to you. If you like the thrill, I guess you can stay in a full session, but if you want to make your money more in a more guaranteed fashion, then I would recommend finding a session with no one else in it except you by yourself or your friends, or just very few people, so your odds are pretty good. And that's the hint I give you for that particular thing. And then now we're gonna move on to a different kind of topic, which is let's see, where's my little writing at? Oh, there we go. Another thing that they'll try to do, of course, is have you destroy your own car or have destroy other people's cars, right? As you can see, some of these cars, they can charge up to $20,000 for you destroying your own car or destroying somebody else's car. Not to mention that they'll give you like bad sport points that you can eventually be put in a bad sport lobby for destroying other people's cars. I don't know if any of you have ever seen what that looks like. It's hilarious when you end up in a bad sport lobby and you're wearing a little pointy dunce hat. I've never been there, but I've seen people that ended up there, and it's just hilarious. So I've seen some of their broadcasts, not them. I have not been able to go visit them in a bad sport lobby. You can't join one of those unless you're a bad sport. But anyhow, what you can do about that, obviously, is just be careful with your car. Try not to destroy it. And try not to destroy other people's cars, especially when you're in free mode. If you're playing in free mode, it will charge you for somebody else's car 100% of the time. Now, something I can tell you is that if you're doing a mission, like a CEO mission, particularly, which I do a lot, and you are in the middle of a mission, doesn't matter what that mission is, whether they have to come into your area, like in a CEO search or executive search, or whether you're actually the one that's going out there. If you're going out there anywhere on the map and they're following you, but you're still in the middle of one of your missions, I can honestly tell you that you will not be charged for any vehicle, any personal vehicle that you destroy. I'm not sure about your own 100% if you get charged for that or not. I'm speaking of somebody else's vehicle. If you're in a mission, CEO mission of some kind, and either you are driving by and you're going up towards somebody and you decide to destroy their car, or they're coming at you. It doesn't matter. If you destroy that car, you will not get charged for it. So it's a freebie. It's a freebie destruction on the car. You get no bad sport notification. You get no charge, given to you. You just straight up destroy that car and you're fine. But only if you're in a mission. So that's the only time you should really be destroying somebody else's car, because it won't cost you a dime. If you don't have a choice because somebody else is attacking you, and trying to run you over, and you got to destroy that car, well then you got to do it and just accept the fee. But otherwise, try to avoid it. Now, another way that they're sneaky about trying to take that money that you're earning, like right now, for example, that I'm trying to work on making more money, is that they'll start putting things on sale. Right before a major DLC comes out, all of a sudden everything goes on sale, and those things that you've been really wanting, all of a sudden become very attractive with 25% off, And so, what happens is that you'll go spend that money that you've been kind of saving towards the next DLC, and then by the time the DLC arrives, boom, you're broke, or you don't have the money to afford the things anymore. And so what I say is, unless you really gotta have it right before a DLC, don't spend that money. Wait till the DLC comes out, see if there's something that's really badass there that's even better than maybe what you were waiting on getting on sale, and buy the things that you want from that DLC, and then that are worth it at least, And then at that point in time, if you have money left over, then go ahead and buy that thing if you still have it. If not, then I would say you just wait. Unless, again, if it's something you just gotta have at that moment, then it's your choice, of course. But I'm saying, I think that's a sneaky way that they'll try to take money from you, is by putting things on sale right before a DLC, so that by the time that DLC comes out, you won't have the money, and then guess what? You're gonna be prompted or more pressured towards buying a shark card, which again I think is their ultimate goal. It looks like we have somebody else in the party. Who's this? Who's in the party? Hey, what's going on, Droopy? Yeah, I did see that notification that you joined, but I thought you had just joined the session. Anyways, my friend Droopy's here with us on chat, so if you hear him, this is my buddy here. So anyway, we'll go on to another way. Okay, bro, man, it was still good seeing you. I'm just making a video right now about sneaky ways that GTA and RockStar used to take your money from you in the game. And so, anyways, all right, let me invite you to the garage here. Where's there it is. Nice, dude. Hey, let me get back to the video. I'm almost done, and then I'll talk to you, okay, bro? All right. So anyhow, another way that they'll use to try to take your money is, believe it or not, most of you don't notice this, but every time you're just kind of goofing around, shooting at the cops, shooting at anything you're shooting at, if it's not totally necessary, ammo's expensive. So that's one of the ways that I think they like to keep us all real, you know, shoot happy, where you're just shooting at everything that comes and goes, and whether it's attacking you or not attacking you, and believe it or not, that's taking money from you. It takes quite a bit of money, especially if you're shooting rockets and you know, those homing missiles. You all know how much those things cost. So again, when you're kind of just shooting everything up for really no particular reason, or during missions, shooting things that you don't really have to, just because you want to kill it, that's fun. But if you're trying to save money and make money, that's kind of a bad thing. And I think that GTA, of course, you know, they want to keep you shooting at everything and anything so that you're spending your money again. And eventually, the less money you have, the more again you'll be prompted to go ahead and purchase a shark card, or go do, you know, some kind of duplications things. But I'll get into that at the end. And so that's another way I think that they'll go ahead and try to do that. And my advice on that one is, you know, just if you don't have to shoot at it, I would say save your ammo for things that are, you know, absolutely important. Like when you're getting attacked by a live player, or when you actually needed to complete a mission, just use what you gotta use and no more. Now we'll get on to the next way, which I think that they try to take your money from you. And that is some of the interactive menu and some of the phone options that you can use to try to you know, use different little services. You know, some of the things are like ghost organization, or ordering your ballistic equipment. Which, why in the world would they charge you for that thing? You pay $50,000 for that ballistic equipment, but if you want to call it up, it's $5,000 for you to use it. But you paid $50,000, $500,000. You paid $500,000 for those things. But GTA charges you $5,000 if you want to call it up. I don't use it very often, but every time I do, it's $5,000. You know, I don't understand why they charge you for that. Let's see. Also, if you're in your CEO office right now, for example, if I go into my office and I want to leave, and I want to use their aircraft services by using one of my vehicles to exit in, or I believe also cars, I'm not sure, but it'll charge you like $5,000 or $7,000. I don't remember what it is, but it's a lot of money for you to leave in a vehicle here. 200, okay, 200,000. Really? You want to pay $200,000 to get out of your office and fly off? Man, just leave your thing parked. Oh, $200? No, it's more than that. It's more than that, trust me. In fact, let's go check that right now. I'll go into my office right now. Yeah, it's a big fee. And again, even if it is $200, why do you want to pay $200 to leave in your own vehicle out of your office? So what I do is I park my vehicles outside or on top of the building without using the automatic parking service, and I don't get that fee. And that certainly, you know, to me it makes more sense. So let's see, exit via vehicle. Oh yeah, it is 200. It used to be more. You know that? It used to be more for sure. Look, there's some 500 ones. There we go. See, look at that, $3,000 in the Savage. They changed the way it works. It used to work slightly. See, the buzzer, I swear I used to be paying at least $1,000 or more. But anyway, there's a fee for these things. See, if you want to live in your own vehicle, and why? I mean, sometimes maybe there's a need for that, but I don't really like spending money on, you know, or being charged for me to go into my own car or my own helicopter. I just don't think that's a good way to spend money. So I think that's another sneaky way. Why charge for you to get into your own vehicle? It should just be free. Also, like the other one that I think is take the easy way out. They will charge you $500. You can just drop a grenade on yourself if you don't really need to use easy way out, and that's $250 instead of $500. And so again, sometimes I guess it becomes kind of necessary for certain reasons to use it, and it's at your discretion. But I think that most of the time, taking the easy way out, let's say when cops are just shooting the hell out of you and you're about to die, let them kill you. Let them kill you. You die for free. You come back with recovered health. It's just no point taking the easy way out or dropping a grenade on yourself because cops are killing you. Maybe when the live player is killing you, it's cool because you avoid being killed by somebody and the loss to someone, and also maybe the loss of your KDR. But other than that, there's really no point to the easy way out, in my opinion, when there's cheaper ways to kill yourself. And let's go on to another way now that they will take your money from you. And to me, this is the worst one of them all. The worst way that I think that you can lose money in the game is by buying a car that you really wanted, upgrading it to its full potential, and now let's say that car cost you $1 million and you spent another $300,000 or more, fixing it up, especially if it's a Benny's car. You know how much those things cost to upgrade. And I can't tell you how many of my friends have done this and do this. They get their car, they fix it all up, it's a Benny's car. They spent more than $2 million fixing that thing up, getting it all upgraded. Then the next DLC comes out, and boom, they want a car out of there, and that thing cost $1 million. And then they go there sell that car that was worth, more than $2 million, and they go sell it for, I don't know, $600,000 or less, just so they can now try to afford the car that they're not trying to get. You know how bad that is of a loss for you when you're losing over $1 million, or at least more than half of the value of your car. So again, my advice to me, that is the worst idea ever. Unless you absolutely hate that vehicle and you just don't want to have it for any reason, it's never a good idea to sell your personal vehicles, especially not to get another vehicle. If you're gonna sell your vehicle because you want to get a business that's gonna make you money, I can see that. Okay, at least in the long run, you'll make a profit out of it. But if you're using it to buy another race car, then really you're not, unless you're racing all the time and making a shit ton of money on races. I would say you're screwing your own self, and GTA, I'm sure, is more than happy to let you take that loss. That's why they give you so little money for any car that you're trading in or selling, is because of course they know that this makes you take a terrible loss of money. So again, those are just ways that I wanted to mention that I think GTA and RockStar will use to take money from you. So I would say avoid doing anything that will take your money from you, and try to work on always making money and not losing money. And so again, this is Jamal69 Jackson signing off. Hope some of this was helpful to you.